You're sitting there, alone in the dark, the glow of your screen illuminating your face. Your heart races as you click that familiar bookmark. You know you shouldn't, but you can't stop. Sound familiar? Adult content addiction isn't just about willpower. It's rewiring your brain in ways you never imagined. But here's the kicker. Understanding this rewiring is your first step to breaking free. In this video, we'll uncover the shocking truth about how adult content addiction changes your brain and give you 7 powerful strategies to reclaim control. Stay tuned. Your future self will thank you. The psychology behind adult content addiction. Before we dive into the details, let's understand what's really going on in your brain when you're addicted to adult content. It all comes down to dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. Every time you watch adult content, your brain gets flooded with dopamine, creating a temporary high. But here's the catch. Over time, your brain becomes desensitized to this flood of dopamine. This desensitization leads to a vicious cycle. You need more and more stimulation to get the same high, pushing you towards more extreme content. Meanwhile, your brain's reward system gets hijacked, making it harder to find pleasure in everyday activities. This is why many adult content addicts report feeling numb or disconnected from real-life experiences. The impact goes beyond just pleasure-seeking. Studies have shown that prolonged adult content use can actually shrink the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for willpower and decision-making. This makes it even harder to resist the urge to watch, trapping you in a cycle that feels impossible to break. But don't worry, there's hope. Let's move on to the strategies that can help you rewire your brain and break free. 1. The cold turkey trap. You might think the best way to quit is to go cold turkey. Stop watching adult content right now and never look back. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. This approach often backfires spectacularly. Why? Because your brain has become accustomed to that regular dopamine hit. When you suddenly cut it off, you're setting yourself up for intense cravings and withdrawal symptoms. These symptoms can include irritability, anxiety, and even depression. Your brain, desperate for that familiar rush, will bombard you with intrusive thoughts and urges. This is why so many people who try to quit cold turkey end up relapsing, often binging harder than before. It's not a failure of willpower, it's your brain chemistry working against you. Instead of cold turkey, a more effective approach is gradual reduction. Start by cutting back on frequency or duration. This gives your brain time to adjust and reduces the intensity of withdrawal symptoms. It's like slowly turning down the volume instead of abruptly unplugging the speakers. This method might take longer, but it's more sustainable in the long run. 2. The mirror neuron effect. Have you ever noticed how watching someone yawn can make you yawn too? That's your mirror neurons at work. These fascinating brain cells fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing it. And guess what? They play a big role in adult content addiction too. When you watch adult content, your mirror neurons activate as if you're participating in the act yourself. This creates a powerful, immersive experience that can be highly addictive. It's like your brain can't fully distinguish between watching and doing. This is why adult content can feel so real, and why it can be so hard to stop. Understanding this mirror neuron effect is crucial for recovery. It explains why simply trying to use willpower often isn't enough. Your brain is literally wired to respond to these visual stimuli. To counteract this, try engaging in activities that activate your mirror neurons in positive ways. Watch videos of people exercising, meditating, or performing acts of kindness. This can help rewire your brain to find pleasure and satisfaction in healthier activities. 3. The dopamine detox dilemma. You've probably heard of dopamine detoxes, periods where you abstain from all pleasurable activities to reset your brain's reward system. While this sounds good in theory, it's not the magic bullet many claim it to be. Here's why. First, a complete dopamine detox is practically impossible. Your brain releases dopamine for all sorts of activities, including eating and social interaction. Trying to eliminate all sources of dopamine can lead to depression and other mental health issues. It's like trying to hold your breath indefinitely. You're fighting against your brain's natural processes. Second, sudden drastic changes in your routine can be stressful, triggering a relapse. Remember, stress is a common trigger for addictive behaviors. Instead of a full detox, focus on replacing unhealthy dopamine sources with healthier ones. exercise, learn a new skill, or spend time in nature. These activities provide natural, sustainable dopamine boosts without the negative consequences of adult content. 4. The neuroplasticity advantage. Here's some good news. Your brain has an incredible ability to change and adapt. This property, called neuroplasticity, is your secret weapon in overcoming adult content addiction. Every time you resist an urge or engage in a healthy activity instead of watching adult content, you're literally rewiring your brain. This rewiring process strengthens neural pathways associated with self-control and weakens those linked to your addiction. It's like carving a new path through a dense forest. At first, it's difficult, and you might often stray back to the old, familiar route. But with consistent effort, the new path becomes clearer and easier to follow. To leverage neuroplasticity, consistency is key. Set small, achievable goals and celebrate each victory, no matter how small. Maybe it's resisting the urge to watch for an extra hour, or choosing to call a friend instead of opening an incognito browser. Each of these actions reinforces the new, healthier neural pathways you're building. 5. The emotional regulation. Revolution. Many people turn to adult content as a way to cope with difficult emotions. It's a quick escape from stress, loneliness, or boredom. But this habit prevents you from developing healthy emotional regulation skills. It's like using a painkiller for a broken leg. It might provide temporary relief, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem. Learning to regulate your emotions without adult content is crucial for long-term recovery. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. Instead, it's about acknowledging them and finding healthier ways to cope. Mindfulness meditation can be a powerful tool here. It teaches you to observe your emotions without judgment, reducing their power over you. Another effective strategy is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you process them more effectively. It also allows you to identify patterns and triggers, giving you more control over your reactions. Remember, emotional regulation is a skill. It might feel awkward or difficult at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. 6. The social connection. Solution. Adult content addiction often thrives in isolation. It's easy to retreat into a private world of fantasy, especially when real-world relationships feel challenging or unfulfilling. But this isolation only feeds the addiction, creating a vicious cycle. Breaking this cycle through social connection can be a game changer in your recovery journey. Human beings are inherently social creatures. Our brains are wired for connection, and when we lack it, we suffer. Studies have shown that social isolation can be as harmful to our health as smoking or obesity. By rebuilding and strengthening your social connections, you're not just fighting addiction, you're promoting overall brain health. Start small if social interactions feel overwhelming. Join an online support group for people struggling with adult content addiction. These communities can provide understanding, encouragement, and accountability. As you become more comfortable, gradually expand your social circle. Reconnect with old friends, join a club related to your interests, or volunteer for a cause you care about. Each positive social interaction helps rewire your brain, making it easier to find satisfaction and pleasure in real-world connections rather than digital fantasies. 7. The mindset shift. Miracle, your mindset plays a crucial role in overcoming adult content addiction. Many people approach recovery with a mindset of deprivation, focusing on what they're giving up. This negative framing makes the process feel like a constant struggle. Instead, try shifting your mindset to one of growth and empowerment. Rather than thinking, I can't watch adult content, try, I'm choosing to invest my time and energy in activities that truly fulfill me. This shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset can dramatically impact your recovery. It's not about willpower or resistance. It's about actively choosing a better path for yourself. This mindset shift also helps combat shame, a common obstacle in addiction recovery. Shame tells you that you're broken or weak. A growth mindset reminds you that you're on a journey of self-improvement. Every setback becomes a learning opportunity, not a personal failure. This compassionate approach to yourself makes it easier to stay committed to your recovery, even when faced with challenges. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comments section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.